Have you ever thought about what it would be like to lie about your dice roll to your DM? Kinda would feel guilty, huh? Like squeezing all the toothpaste out of the tube? I mean, you could do it. Just once. Come on. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna judge you? I'll tell you who.
Good evening, hi, I'm Willowares, and today we're going to talk about the hardest creature types to make convincing baddies in Dungeons & Dragons, Celestials, and how to make a cool, believable boss. In order to solve this issue, we'll break down what makes celestial creatures actually cool and why they are so...
Scram! Leave her alone!
At the same time. And if you're a player, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. So grab a little sippy and settle in, because we're going to transform your next boss battle into something divine. Celestials are great because they are powerful, all-knowing, endgame energy creatures. They are bad because, well, they're powerful, all-knowing, endgame energy creatures. So... Mechanics-wise, Celestials appear predictable, especially if you're familiar with the basic Paladin and Cleric from D&D, since they share a lot of the same abilities. Just like our favorite Hall Monitor classes, they have Cure Wounds, Aid, Detecting Good and Evil. Usually these are the bread and butter of these little overachievers. Many Celestials also have that tasty immunity to lots of damage types such as poison. Celestials are aligned with the force of good, usually pretty powerful, and hail from the Celestial Plane, shocker of the century. Going over the different types of Celestials, we've got Angel with wings. We've got an angel over here. That one has wings. Over here, we have a Smurf with wings. Then an angel with wings over here, and then a furry with wings.
You did it! You broke
Celestials.
down to his bare essentials!
Those are the angels. A lot of wings here, huh?
This is Church's fried chicken. Looks good, doesn't it? And it is good.
Let's dive into some variety of Celestials to see if there's anything we can use. Cardinals are buff furry angels that occupy the traditional neutral good of the celestial planes. Most of the time they are humanoids with some animal-like element, usually their head. From the diminutive, adorable Mustaval to the terrifying prospect of the Equinal.
Prove that you can that fucking horse. Get on all fours, eat an amount of avocados that is toxic to horses, and die.
Cardinals all share a general good nature and strong desire to eradicate evil. Not all of them have wings, but all of them have various states of hear me out. I'd give them a D- for boss potential because honestly the thought of an angry angel mouse ripping my party apart isn't really doing it for me. But there's absolutely something there with trying to hunt down evil all the time. Next up we have the Holophant. Holophants are adorable tiny golden elephants with wings, and they also have a giant woolly mammoth form. They are, according to the Forgotten Realms wiki, intelligent, loyal messengers of other Celestials, and sensitive about their appearance, which is so sweet. And never in my life have I seen anything so great. They are my favorite. They are the baby of the celestial plane, and seriously, I cannot thank whoever came up with this guy enough. They are probably the worst bad guy ever, so we'll rank them at an F minus. Unicorns are horse-like creatures with shockingly a single horn growing out of their heads. Like any good fantasy setting, there are several types of unicorns in D&D with different abilities. But for now, let's focus on the classic unicorn. In D&D, unicorns are large creatures with around a 67 HP pool. And of course, since they are kind of horse-like and horses are cool and fast, they have a 50-foot speed. They can innately cast common spells using their horn, not needing physical components, they can heal, and of course, they can kick you very, very hard. Like in common legend, unicorns have an innate sense of good and evil. They can detect evil nearby, and unlike unicorns of the real world legend, they can actually teleport. They're a fantastic bread and butter beastie, but they are really not into killing, stealing, or lying, so terrible boss. F. Unless that new scary unicorn movie coming out is actually scary, then I take it back. Let me know in the comments if that unicorn movie that's coming out is actually scary. I forget what it's called. Alright, next. Kirin are similar to our unicorn pals in the sense that they are kinda horsey and they also have a horn. However, the Kirin are way more powerful, intelligent, and rare. The real world inspiration here is the Japanese Kirin, and while a unicorn's horn can cure poison, just a Kirin's presence can cure poison, and a bunch of other negative conditions, as long as you're a good boy, of course. The unicorn can teleport, sure, but the Kirin can teleport planes. They're one of the cooler creatures in D&D, and deserving of their usual job title as messenger messengers of the deities. And most importantly, the older Kieran art looks like they're mogging. A corrupted Kieran would be a very cool big bad. However, these guys absolutely aren't crafted around the idea of being killable creatures. If you look at their spell list, a lot of the Kieran's kit, so to speak, is built around the idea of a party meeting this guy for an important quest, a rest stop right before the big bad, etc.-ish flavor. So picture him more as like a flying, scaly medkit who's also a therapist and a chef. Kieran are a great example of a creature in D&D that while he has a stat block, he's not necessarily made for combat. He certainly has combat spells, but would need some rework to operate at peak big bad efficiency. So let's give him a C+. So overall, Celestials bring something really important to the table, and that's drama. You know the stakes are high when an angel shows up in any story ever. They're not gonna send an angel to like McDonald's when the ice cream machine is broken. When an angel visits the party, everyone should be This is because, outside of the table, humankind has always considered big buff bodies floating towards you as powerful and kind of a big deal, but also because D&D backs up these guys with meaty stat blocks to hold up all that beef.
Where's the beef?
I know I poked fun at the wings before, but wings are honestly freaking cool, flying is sick, and everybody wants them, so if you say you don't, you're actually a liar. I'm sorry.
That's a lie, and I'm not gonna let you make me believe it.
What's the issue here with Celestials? The conversation of Celestials being boring or almost lore-breaking comes up quite often. Having a super strict moral compass has always been a bit of a thing in D&D, and even if we have moved away from that a bit, it still tracks that the beings aligned with the in-universe form of heaven would be good. Sure, there's your basic neutral beasties, such as the giant eagle or giant elk. Interestingly enough, not the giant crab. Really makes you think. Regardless, my point is that we have a few alignments up here, and they usually veer towards good. Neutral good, chaotic good, waffle good, they're good guys. And if you aren't careful, this could result in a bit of a problem at the table. So, say you have a party consisting of the classic heroes. You've defeated all of the bad guys but one, but instead, you hear God is bigger than the boogeyman. And the silhouette of a winged being appears, larger than life and radiating with an awesome power too beautiful to behold. And the angel pulls out their sticker book and invites you to sit down and watch Gilmore Girls together. Celestials that are forced under the, quote, we only try to eradicate evil, unquote, become boring because A, it feels like these guys will never try to kill a good party, thus taking away all the tension in the fight, and B, why would they even hit you in the first place? Truly, it's up to the DM how or even if they want to justify Celestials. Outside of D&D and popular culture, there's been some pretty interesting versions of these guys that justify party combat. And you don't even have to bend the rules if you don't want to. There is a weird sense of fun and challenge of being a goody two-shoes in a game where it's so much easier to be chaotic and kinda bad. You just have to hit a sweet spot where the creature feels true to its little lore tidbits, but also coated with an interesting motivation milk. Oh god, I am so sorry, please cut that. So the argument that Celestials are boring because the only way to make them interesting is basically to make them bad is a bit reductive. Instead, there's plenty of room in the Celestial monster class for something fresh and new. It just needs a bit more thinking and wiggle room than other creature types. And there's only one solution here. Let's talk about Tom Cruise. Minority Report is a movie based on a novel of the same name that was released in 1701, also known as the early aughts. As we can see, Rotten Tomatoes has rated it as an 89% movie, which is a pretty good ratio of movie in a film. And what an 89% movie it was.
Hello, Mr. Yakamoto. Welcome back to the Gap. How those assorted tank tops work out for you?
For those that haven't seen it, all you have to know is that Tom Cruise is a cop that has a fax machine ran by a double oil beauty cleanse blue man group that tells him not if someone's done something bad, but when they will do it, essentially eradicating crime before it starts. This system, as you guessed it, turns on him. Society sees him as the bad guy because he's going to commit a crime, while we, the audience, still perceive him as the hero. The film has two takeaways. One, free will is a weird concept, and knowing the outcome of whatever bad thing you're about to do changes things, and there's thousands of different outcomes or whatever, so please don't think about it too much. And two, Tom Cruise is just so angelic. Since so many Celestials are centered around judgment, this all-knowingness would be a neat element to add into the mix. We're pretty much sidestepping the goody gumdrops alignment already, so what's another little dip in the morally gray stuff? The idea of judging someone for something that they may or may not do in the future, not just the past, has an interesting story implication as well. This is a great way to have your players think about major choices choices they might make in the future, or foreshadow major story arcs that they don't know about yet. And surprise, this fits in very nicely with Celestials. Another great example of this is Diablo. You've got a group of angels that at some points in the story are this close to giving the human race a good spanking because they have so much gosh darn sin potential in them. It isn't just the bad things that humans have already done, it's the threat of them being a vehicle for evil, thus giving the powers of hell more firepower. And for the Celestial, it could be reason enough to want to fight a perfectly good party. It's the potential for sin, not the sin itself, that dooms the individual. In a previous video, we talked about plant creatures not being smart enough. Well, this time, I'd argue most angels are way too smart. I also want to introduce more variety into the Celestial Lucky Charms mix. Right now, there's a lot of humanoids with wings, which is cool, but as we've seen with the Kieran and the Hollyphant, there are really cool ways to go with the Celestial theme. And I think we can knock both of these problems out at once. And finally, Celestials often feel overpowered for what they are, and they should be. They're heaven people. I wouldn't want to fight an archfiend in D&D that wasn't overpowered either. We still want this boss to feel like a boss. The goal is to create something intimidating but achievable, a challenge that they can slowly work towards, perhaps with small but aspirational story points leading up to it. But how? To defeat the undefeatable, to pluck the very feathers of the wings of a creature so close to the stars. How can you? It's a quest. You just make an item quest. We are not reinventing the wheel here, Janice. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we have to get back to the table. Your players certainly can't defeat a big bad on their own, but with some magical items, maybe, just maybe, they have a chance. MacGuffins are a thing for a reason, and we've been doing it for years. Excalibur and King Arthur walked, so the Valerian steel dagger and Arya could run, I guess.
And who has a better story than Bran the Broken?
So let's give our Celestials a Tom Cruise crystal ball, shake out some brain cells, and grow some fur, and get a nice tasty Achilles heel in the shape of an item. And let's see what we can cook up. The border of the celestial plane is busier than you'd think. Mortals, immortals, creatures both good and evil trying to find a way in. Angels are busier with more important matters than simple patrol, and so they employ the skills of one of the local fauna. The Allesium Beast is a creature native to the celestial plane. They can grow to a giant size, and a full-grown adult can be over 15 feet tall. The Allesium Beast has a unique gift. As it matures, the beast will start to grow additional sets of eyes. These eyes are all-seeing, and the more eyes on the beast, the more possible futures it sees. To stay sane, the beast cannot have them open for too long. Thus, the Allesium Beast usually patrols with its winged mane covering most of its gaze. When locked onto a target, not only does it know if someone has committed an evil act, it knows if the person will commit an evil act. The wings will unfurl, and the beast's gaze will penetrate the victim's very soul, examining all past, present, and potential futures. Like the Kieran, Allesium Beasts can teleport through the planes with ease. And like their Cardinal allies, Allesium Beasts, once outside their home plane, have an extreme urge to stamp out evil. Because they are not highly intelligent creatures, the beast cannot differentiate between a past transgression and a future that definitely could be avoided. So unlike the Cardinals, the beast cannot control themselves and will spare no one. To solve this problem, angels and archons will forge bracers that keep the beast bound to its local plane. If not, the creature would cause unimaginable damage and bloodshed. The bracers are extremely powerful, tied to the very life force of whoever is binding the creature. These items not only keep the creature from roaming into different planes, but it tempers the nature of the beast itself. Bound Allesium Beasts are said to be as gentle as lambs around those who are completely pure of heart. However, if whoever created the bracer is killed or gravely injured, the bracer will break, and the beast will be free. Allesium Beasts will specifically seek out those with the greatest potential for evil. Think political, magic, or just overall power. They can cause terrible disruptive shifts this way. Allesium Beasts have been known to kill kings and destroy entire cities. Those that have been judged by the beast, if they are lucky enough to somehow escape, are permanently marked with a heavenly eye, a mark that connects the affected to the beast. It appears as a single golden eye on the back of their necks. Commit a grave sin, and another eye will appear, letting the inflicted know their sin is all the much stronger, and they are all that more visible to the eyes of the beast. Those that have the mark will dream of the beast as it pursues them, and for that reason, many that are marked will try to sleep as little as possible. This causes them to become manic and paranoid as the beast itself, eventually ending in a catatonic state. Feelings of dread and foreboding will overcome a marked individual when the beast is near. A marked person may find shelter in staying near objects or people that have divine energy, hiding their potential sin from the beast. Allesium Beasts, without their bracers, that have hunted on a non-celestial celestial plane for too long, exposed to too much potential evil, will begin to hoard potential victims, even those they deem as mostly good. Eventually, the wings will fail to close over its eyes, causing the creature to fall into complete madness, but they will never stop their hunt as long as they can sense evil around them. Broken Allesium bracers are still extremely powerful items that can be reforged into weapons. Often they will be made into martial weapons. Some say the heavenly metal longs to take the form of the preferred weapon of their angelic creator. These weapons are seen as extremely rare and valuable as they contain a splinter of power from a celestial, so they will be protected and be an incredible challenge to obtain, just like any other rare artifact. Someone with the mark of the Allesium Beast can hide it easily if they possess one of these weapons. Unfortunately, that means oftentimes the weapons will be guarded by those who have fallen to great evil. Normally, the Allesium Beast would be extremely difficult to subdue, especially due to its multiplanar teleport ability. However, the presence of the bracer weapons keep it in place, allowing the party a fighting chance to defeat it. Now, the adventurers must come together to find the artifacts that can once again bind the Allesium Beast and end its reign of terror. A present just for you, baby. As thanks for sticking through the video with me for free, I've included the Allesium Beast boss and the Elysian Spear for free. That's for free, zero money, this costs zero money, in the description below. And if you like those, and want to flash out the party rewards even more for this quest, I've added 3 Elysium Beast divine weapons to my Patreon. A longsword, a warhammer, and a longbow. You can find that in the description as well. Shiny, high-res exclusive art that you won't find anywhere else. If you'd like to comment below on what your favorite weapon type in D&D to play is, that would help me pick which ones to do in the future for you. Also, not to get super silly, but thank you so much to everyone who has liked, subscribed, and commented so far. I can't believe everyone has been so kind on the internet, the place where people are so notorious for being kind. I've gotten a few more videos you can check out here. I'll be launching something super special the week after next, and I think it's super unique. Stay tuned. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.